Hey, everybody. Let me just get my YouTube side over here done. Let me go over to YouTube, get out of Top Chat, and um, let's see here. I'm going to go and put my stuff in here. Give me 1 minute. I have some time, guys. Chris brought the kids to school because he had to go in a little later. And I wanted to work on a project. So let me get over to this YouTube side here and get this prepared. Hey, Han Solo. Hello. Give me 1 minute. And I'm just getting, hey, Be Charming. Hey, guys. I'm just, give me 1 minute. I'm just getting my YouTube side set here. And then I can focus on you guys. Hey, CJ. Shadow Dancer. Give me 1 minute. I'm just getting the YouTube side squared away and getting all the boxes unchecked that I don't want checked. You know how it goes. Making sure that the replay is on so that y'all can go back. And me too, if I need to. All right. Don't mind me. I've been up since 5, like I normally do during the week. And I didn't sleep good because of my back and my hips. Oh, of course, the same. I had been wanting to work on a project. So I had big 28-ounce cans of whole tomatoes, crushed tomatoes, and things like that I had bought a year or two ago. And they've been sitting on my shelf. So I pulled some of the ones that expired. A couple of them expired, I think May of 21. And I pulled those off the shelf with some diced tomatoes and some tomato paste and a couple of my home canned sauce and a secret ingredient that I learned from Lisa Sutton at Sutton's Days. It was tomato soup, Campbell's tomato soup. And I just made my own batch of spaghetti sauce. And I found a basic recipe on, so I added some of the ingredients from that, and it's going to simmer all day. So I might have to get up and stir it, but I have it on low. But I wanted to use up what I had. I used up some red bell peppers that I had in my freezer. I used up an onion I needed to use. And doing this recipe, when I went and added my seasonings, I realized I have to go downstairs and grab some more oregano, basil, and everything and restock my spice containers. So it was good to do that. Mountaineer Mama, Shadow Dancer, Be Charming, Shift Kicker, Han Solo. Hi, everybody. Good morning. Sierra's back to school finally. She missed pretty much 4 days last week, 4.5 or 3.5. But she's feeling better. She's feeling better. Miss Mouthy. But she called me yesterday while we were out shopping, me and Chris, and she told me she got into that Bay Path vocational. So she's got some thinking to do. A couple of her friends got accepted too. But she's got some thinking to do. I'm going to leave it totally up to her. She will have to get up way earlier. I get her up at 5:30 now, and she don't roll out of bed till like 6 or 6:15. She's going to have to get the bus and be outside at 6 o'clock. So she's got some thinking to do because I'm not driving her. This is too far for me to drive, especially in the winters. Hey, B. Mitch. Hey, Mama Bear Strong. Chris told me you were on the live stream the other night. Yeah. I went to bed. I can't stay up and listen to them unleashing. Sometimes it's just too much. And sometimes the talk is just too much. To be honest, me and Chris had a little discussion about that. And I'm like, I know it's your time to unleash, but some of the stuff you guys talk about, it gets a little too over the top, with the sex talk. And he took himself off actually because he felt it was getting a little, you know. And I said, what if your boss? I said, you already have coworkers that watch you. What if your boss happens to hear about your channel and he goes on there and he sees the constant swearing at each other. And I said, I know it's a time to relax and, but he's going to see the real you. And especially if you're in our videos, you're wearing your company's shirt, and a good businessman would say, okay, you know what? Do I want my t-shirt out there on somebody that's talking like that? So I explained that to him and he kind of knew. But so hopefully he'll scale it back a little bit. I don't want him to totally not do it, but I just want him to remember what he's looking like when he's putting himself on here. It's different than me where I'm half dead over here because I just woke up, but I'm not. You gotta, we all know you swear, but I don't know. Nope, I'm leaving this totally up to him, Han Solo. He knows. He kind of saw. Uh, don't smoke over it. Doesn't taste the same. Oh, he be Mitch. But that's on him. That's his channel. Yeah, Be Charming. He was telling me he really likes Mad Shad's channel when he does that axe thing. He was telling me all about it, how you two are throwing the axe, guessing. I don't really know much about it because I go to bed now because honestly, I'm tired at that time of night and that's his time. And my husband's affair was on Facebook and he got fired. Yeah, my son, when he got this job, they did a thorough background on him. And they went into his social media and they told him certain things he needed to take off his social media. Otherwise, he wasn't going to get hired. They literally poured over everyone's social media and they check it. And when I was taking my college courses, we have a whole course on that employers now go to social platforms to see who you really are. And they base their hiring process on that. It was a whole course I took. And my son told me he had to have special clearances and he had to have his whole social media accounts scrutinized and had to take a lot of things down. He would put motorcycle pictures with pretty girls half naked on there because he likes motorcycles and he had to take all that down. He had to take some of that down and he had to take some of his, yeah. Chris really likes the Mad Shad trial by axe thing. He really does. Hey, Heroic. Hey, Gardner Josh. Yeah. So I am simmering down some sauce mix that I made. Hopefully it comes out. It tasted good so far. But I used a lot. I used like 4 jars of my home canned. I used 3 big jar, 28-ounce cans of whole tomatoes. I used 3 cans of diced tomatoes. I used 3 small cans of paste and a can of tomato sauce. And then my seasonings. And then I sauteed up red peppers and onions and I shoved that in there. I threw some of my Thrive Life celery, just mix some of that in there and add some seasonings. And so far it tastes really good. And I was able to get the rest of my sauce jars off my canning shelf and use up some of the expired cans of tomato sauce products. And we'll have some spaghetti tonight or some pasta because I found 3 jars of my vacuum sealed pasta that popped a seal. It's important you guys check your jars that you vacuum seal because they don't always last very long. These were vac sealed in 2020 and 3 of my lids popped on my pasta. So I go down and I check every week and I make sure everything that I vac sealed stays sealed. And I find a lot that has popped its seal. So I think I'm going to get away from doing a lot of jar vac sealing and just stick to bag vac sealing and Mylar bags and putting them in bins and buckets because I'll still vac seal for short-term stuff, but not the big amounts I was doing because it's a lot of time to check my seals, and I don't want to do it. I'd rather just have it vac sealed in bags or Mylar, and you can reuse the bags, especially if you do it the way I do it with the paper bags and then put them in the vac seal bags. But yeah, I'm getting tired of having seals pop on my stuff. And that could be because of a bad lid. It could be because you didn't wipe the rim. It could be because the lid itself is just not perfect. You know, so I'm getting over that. And I don't put my rings on because you'll never know if a lid popped. So I don't put the rings on. But I'm learning as I go, guys. I'm learning just like everybody else. And I'm learning that I don't want to be spending all that time vac sealing all my jars if they're not going to stay sealed. Hey, Susan. Sutton's Days, and I think Bev has found a new kind of lid. It's not the ball. It's a new brand. You could look in one of their videos. I forget what it's called, but they're liking it so far, and it's got more of a. I guess they're really liking it. It's because a lot of the ball lids, the newer stuff, is just not working the way it used to. So yeah. We went out shopping yesterday. We did do an out and about. I was irritating Chris too. I know I was, but I was trying to. Yes, 4 jars. Be charming. I've heard good things about them. I haven't gotten any. I still have so many ball ones. God, I must have like 300 packs between the regular mouth and wide mouth. Let me go and check my sauce. I just want to give it a quick stir. I probably should have put it in the, well, I don't have a big enough crock pot. But it's on low, so just want to make sure it doesn't scorch to the bottom. I got a big it's not even warm yet. I have a big 16-quart Revereware stock pot. It's very thick. So I'm doing it in that. Our Half Acre Homestead, I really like her channel. And she takes a pressure canner, puts the little thing at the bottom there that you have to put your jars on, the spacer. She puts that down, fills it with water, puts a regular thinner stock pot inside it, and she simmers her sauce down that way when she makes homemade sauce. So it won't burn. That's a good idea. I could have done that, but I didn't have a whole lot. Hers usually is when she's doing a big canning session and she's got all her homegrown tomatoes and she puts it all in there and it's right to the top. My sauce only came to the middle of the pot. Bigfoot's new channel, Dig Deep Ministry. Oh, nice. I'll have to go check it out. I'm not religious, but I do support people. So I did check out their newer one, the Bigfoot Adventures or something. Or Lake Fairy and Bigfoot Adventures, or I forget what it's called, but I did subscribe to that one. And I enjoy that one. Let me see. I'm just going to close out some of my tabs. I had a Mandy in the Making tab open, and I showed Sierra, and she wants me to make it. It's called, this one she did was February 28th of 2022, and it was called All Day in the Kitchen Meal Prep in 2 recipes, and it was a baked ravioli lazy lasagna. I showed Sierra and she liked it. So, hey, Cat Skill, me and Chris were talking about you today. We were wondering how you were doing. I was telling him how I saw that post of yours where you were kind of living halfway between home and and your husband got a new gig, and yeah, I was explaining that. But yeah, so this recipe she used baked ravioli frozen, and she let it thaw out and she laid it in the pan, and oh my god, it looks so good with some ground beef and sauce and cheese. So I showed Sierra, and I have a bunch of bags of frozen cheese tortellini that Sierra wanted, and I need to use up in the freezer. So I might try it with that and see how that goes. You're going to be traveling back and forth, Catskill. Oh, bless your heart. I have to get up every once in a while. My back starts to hurt. So Wednesday, my kids have a thing at the high school here, where we can go and check out the high school, meet some of the teachers, because that's where they're going to be going next year, is into the high school. So I really want to do that with them, so Sierra has a little bit of that experience so she can kind of make her decision. She's going to base her decision on having to get up early. I know her. She's not going to want to get up as early going to the other school, but it has that veterinary science, and that's what she wants to do. So I told her, even if she tries it and it doesn't work for her, which it's too much for her to get up every day and take the bus, we can always transfer her back to the other high school where her brother will be. So it's up to her. Hey, Sassy Cat. I like that name too. Well, welcome. Oh, I'm a sweet lady. I'm a sweet lady on here. I'm a Nazi at home. No, I'm not. I just know my people in this house. Okay. You know, when you know somebody like my husband, I love you, Chris, if you're watching. And I tell him right to his face, he has no reality of time management. None. He thinks he can do so much all the time. He doesn't realize he's human. He don't realize he's getting older. He don't realize that there's only 24 hours in a day, and he thinks he can do it all. And I'm like, you can't. I'm learning this. I'm 7 years older than you. I'm pooping out early every day now, guys. I am. So I'm like, especially in the summers when you're working 6 days a week, and there's going to be an option probably. They may have a couple jobs that they're going to be working 7. So getting the greenhouse done, cutting up logs to have for firewood, helping out in the garden, building your axe throwing thing, just the normal stuff around here, getting the pool going and things like that. And then my son's going to want to go out fishing like you guys normally do on a weekend or so. And you only have a certain amount of hours in a day. And it's like when I tell you we need to start doing stuff, you roll your eyes and you sit there and chain smoke, and then nothing gets done. Or a Saturday you've worked half the day and you come home and you want to rest, which I totally get. And then Sunday you just don't want to do nothing. Those weekends add up and nothing gets done. That's why our greenhouse is the way it is. Between the weather, because it rained so much last year, and and so I also have an idea. We're going to throw together a few more raised beds, and I can't start growing until that stuff's done. So I told him yesterday, I says, I'm not going to bust my hump doing it 10 different ways to get it done until the way you're working on gets done. I'm just not doing it. I'll go to the farmer's market and get what I need. I'm not growing and working myself to the bone. I'm just not doing it until everything is the way we need it. I have those water sprinklers that Gardner Josh, I have that still. I got to go research that and order them, get them. And when I have what I need, I'm going to do it. I'm not just shoving stuff in the ground and then moving it into the greenhouse or moving it here. No, I did that for a couple years and oh my God, it made it so I don't even like gardening. Going to be a very busy garden. Yeah, you have everything set up and we've gone through different ways of doing things to figure out what was best. And a lot of it was my fault because I didn't want my yard torn up because I don't like gardening. So I didn't want to tear up my lawn and then not stick with it. And so put them in pots, and then he built planter boxes, and then he built table boxes, and then we tore those apart because they were cheap wood that molded out and broke anyway. So yeah, Catskill, I'm doing way less seed starters than I did last year. If y'all watched my videos and saw the 80 tomato plants, no more. I'm doing maybe 8, if that, 6 to 8. I'm doing a cherry. I'm doing a beefsteak, maybe one Roma, and another kind. I don't know. I may not even do that many. Because I gave a lot away, and I had freezers so packed that I couldn't even freeze any tomatoes for later. 20 raised beds. Ugh. And I want all our raised beds to look uniform. I don't want to use different types of wood. I want it all the same wood. I don't want different crazy looking containers around the yard. If I was going to do the containers, it would have been those galvanized ones you see that have the ripples around the sides, but I'd want them all matching. And those are expensive because we sit out there and we relax out there, and I don't want it looking like a crazy place. I don't want a bunch of tires stacked up. I know, oh, use what you have, but I don't like gardening that much. I don't. Yeah, but those are $300 to $400 a piece from what I saw, and I'm just not getting those because I don't like gardening that much. I mean, he worked on that whole fenced-in area, and I threw garlic down, and it doesn't look like it's doing anything. So if it doesn't do anything by, May, June, I'm going to pull it up, and I'm going to plant stuff in there that I would like to try corn. Gardener Josh. Yeah, I get it. But I'm not a big gardener. I like, so plus, plus we have this guy. He had a huge, and his parents and his grandparents, they owned it. And it was a huge place around here. It was called Morse Farms. And they were so popular back in the day. And now he's older and his parents are gone. His grandparents are gone. And he's trying to do it. And he has a really nice veggie stand up the road. And he's fallen on some hard times because the town had messed up the road in front of his place so nobody could ever get there. And he lost his business. He lost the land. And I like supporting him. And he's got the best food, the best produce, the best everything. So while he's doing that, and my aunt used to work for him years ago, while he's still doing it, I'd like to support his business too. The plants are picking up on. There's no plants yet. They're all in the seed containers downstairs. My mother used to grow and can green beans, and I didn't care for them. I like the regular ones in the metal cans. I know that's bad. I can sit outside and chomp away on her fresh yellow beans, but I don't know. All that canning, I realized, is stuff we don't usually eat a lot of. So I did a lot of canning when I first started. I did meatballs from Lisa Sutton's recipe, and I didn't care for them. So I learned a lot on what we'll eat and what we won't. And I wasted a lot of time. Now I know not to do these things. Like the potatoes I pressure canned. I dumped most of all my potatoes because after sitting on the shelf for a year, I forgot about them, honestly. And they just mushed out. They got discolored. I didn't like the smell. And I did a video too. I think I did a video. But I found a new way of doing potatoes and adding the pickle crisp granules on. And I opened a jar that I did of French fries. And Those were good. So I did another batch of fries with the pickle crisp. I know, Catskill. I want to get one of those Aero Gardens to do lettuce in the winter and try that. That way, Sierra, because she loves her salads. And with all the recalls on the salad kits and things like that, I'd like to get like a little small Aero Garden and try it out. Walmart had it for $69. So maybe over the summer I'll do that and practice for the winter next year. See the side. Get Chris Company to fix the road as a tax. Yeah. They got a lot of work, I guess. The vines give my arms horrible rashes through long sleeves even. I did dehydrate potatoes, and they're still sitting on my shelves from 2 years ago. I never did anything with them. I got to do that too. I got to find a nice sauce recipe and start using this stuff up. I'm doing it little by little. I'm going to take my dehydrated apple chunks and I'm going to make a dessert with that soon. And start using what I dehydrated when I first got my dehydrator a couple years ago and get that stuff used up and off the shelves. And then I'm going to reevaluate everything I have downstairs and just how much of each thing I need, because I have case flats and case flats of tomato sauce and tomato paste, and I don't seem to use it up as much as I should. A lot of it doesn't expire till 2023, so I'm good on that stuff for a long time, especially diced tomatoes, cans of Goya beans, that because I love their Goya beans in my rice. And those are good till 2026, so I'm good there. Yeah, inventory. I did get the inventory checklist sheets from Sutton's Days off Etsy, but I never used them because I just put the black marker with the expiration date, and I rotate everything. And once I get through this stuff, we'll start restocking again. Yeah, Catskill. These 2 years have been very eye-opening on what I use and what I don't, especially when I would get a really good recipe and then I'd go stock up on the ingredients and then I throw that stuff away because it passed expire date. Like, for example, I made this honey mustard chicken and potatoes. I did a video way back and I really liked it. And it's just a Ken's honey mustard dressing. And I went and bought tons of it. And I had like several bottles that expired in there. It's a creamy stuff. So it clumped. It like, you could tell it was bad. And I had to dump it all because I didn't want to get my family sick. So I had like 8 bottles I had to dump because it just clumped like cottage cheese texture. And I wasn't about to feed that to them. So now I know 1 or 2 bottles, not 8 or 10. Because how often did I make that dish? Especially when I'm constantly trying new recipes and not going back to the old ones that we like. I do great with canning soups because we use it actually. That's the thing. The kids don't really like any of the soups except for chicken noodle. And Sierra's starting to like the Lipton extra noodle box soup. She doesn't really like a lot of veggies and a lot of different soups. So we don't eat a lot of soups here. I like my pasta fajoule. I make that homemade and I'll use my spaghetti sauce as a base but I don't make it a lot because nobody else likes it. Yeah, heroic, I know. But you can't stress over it. You can't stress over it. Hey, Moonlight. You just can't stress over it. And not telling you how to run your channel, but I wouldn't put so much of that in there because they're going to ding you. Look at Bushcraft. He's not monetized anymore. A few channels have gotten dinged, and if you're looking to get monetized, I wouldn't do too much about that. Do more of prepping items. I wouldn't go if YouTube is where you want to be and you don't want to have to keep changing channels and keep coming up with new stuff and putting all that effort into your channel. Only like I was watching Bushcraft and I was like, oh my God, that man, they don't tell you from what he's saying. YouTube does not tell you which video they're not liking. So he was deleting videos, which takes away his watch hours to get monetized. And they're not even the right. They're not even the right videos that are the problem ones. So he has no idea which videos to go and fix. That's too much work for me. I wouldn't want to do that. I know. I feel bad too, Catskill, because he worked hard on that channel, and as well as all these other ones. And for some of these other channels, don't get bothered at all. I don't understand it. So that's why I keep mine this way. And I'm sure if I ever decide to monetize, I'm gonna get messed with too. Or maybe a couple of times I swore in there, or who knows. That's why I don't put music in there. Because the one time I did a video and I used my HP video editing background music, I still got a copyright. So now I don't even put any in there. Yeah, Catskill, you did. It's not worth it. If this is where you want to be to interact with your people, I wouldn't go doing all that. But that's what I'm learning from all these channels that are going through it now. You know, they're teaching me something. Unfortunately, they're suffering, but I'm learning, and I feel bad. But yep, day by day. Cat's cow. Mouse Toes gave me a good suggestion on one of my videos. She said, don't put the live streams monetized, only monetize your videos. Because when you're on a live stream, you cannot control what people on your panel say. And it's a lot of work to go edit things out and delete, or, so don't monetize your live streams, just monetize your videos, depending on what you put in your videos. Yeah. I think I have 200 more subs to get to 1,000. So then I'll be deciding whether I want to get monetized or not, because I know they put the ads on there anyway. But do I want to deal with the IRS? And it depends on if I stick with being a Thrive Life consultant. If I keep going with the consulting and have that 1099 that I have to file, and then if I decide to stick with that, when I monetize, then maybe I'll get monetized so that I can just put it all together and do the write-offs, because the write-offs for my Thrive Life helped me a great deal this year. Last night, what did I do? We went out yesterday. We went out to Walmart. I went to go get my soil kit, and I still didn't get it. They didn't have any at Walmart. By the time I was done in there, I just wanted to go home. I didn't want to go to Home Depot to find the test kit. But we spent $253 on absolutely nothing. I could not believe it. I could not believe it. It was things like Chris got a new pair of slippers because his was pretty much down to the rubber. And then I found a pair of shoes to wear in the garden. We found a $5 DVD set. It was the Red Dawn and the new Red Dawn, all in one. The first one had Patrick Swayze, and the new one it was a double thing. That was only $5, and I had been looking for it on our streaming, and I couldn't find them. They wanted you to pay. We just happened to be looking in that $5 bin, and I found him a Rambo movie because I'm trying to collect the Rambo series for him. He really likes those, because there's been several times we've lost power. No, we've lost the internet over the winter, and we've had DVDs to watch. So I do that, but I don't spend over $5 on a DVD. Yeah. And this, during that time, you can get your watch hours up and never have to worry about reaching your watch hours. I have like 14,000 watch hours, but I have 800 and something subscribers. So, and I've been doing this for a year, but I'm in no rush. You had a channel, Susan? Yeah, I don't like commercials either, Shadow Dancer. I skip them, and that's why I love. Like right now, I'm on my Walking Dead binge. I'm on season 6 now, and no commercials on the DVD. Mama Bear Prepping put up a video on Instagram pricing in Walmart for crappy salad dressing. I know. I know. I know. You could find a good recipe and make your own at some point. It's not like that here. Those prices aren't here yet, but they probably will at some point. We only like a certain amount of kinds. I like the Olive Garden Italian. Sierra likes the Olive Garden Italian and the Olive Garden Parmesan Ranch, and I have quite a bit stockpiled. But again, those creamy ones, gotta watch out for. Um, and the Ken's, the plain Ken's marinade. It's just like an orangey one, and I have some that's past the expire date down there on those, and I still use them. I put them in her pasta salad and stuff because it's oil and vinegar. You know, at some point, now I know because I got a lot of free coupons on that. So now I know not to use up all those coupons all at once. But yeah. Oh, here's my receipt actually. Look at this. $253. He got 4 things of stabilizer. They were $10.42 each. I got some Bic lighters, some Scripto lighters. We found some things in the clearance aisle. We showed on the video after when we got home. So some lanterns and some emergency lights. What else did we get? There was some washcloths. Oh, they're right here, actually. I haven't taken the stickers off them. Let me go turn my sauce. Sorry, guys. Oh, I can feel it starting to warm up now. It's on low. I'm going to let it simmer all day. Oh, yeah, it's getting warm now. But, so yeah, I found these washcloths. They were real pretty. They were in the clearance for $1. They had boxes of them. Better Homes and Garden. Look at how pretty that is. For $1 a piece. So I bought a couple of those. You cannot have too many of those. But there was the clearance sticker. $1. So I'm going to wash those up, and I got those. What else did I get? I got some oil, some more vegetable oil. And the only thing that really was bare shelves was the pasta. The pasta was still really bare. But it was mobbed in there yesterday because it's a Walmart grocery one. And but it was Sunday. Everybody was doing their shopping, and oh, it was just mobbed. Catskill, it's the corn oil it uses. It will all go that way. Yeah, I have a lot of chicken broth stock and beef broth stock and vegetable stock. I did a vegetable stock too, because not Sutton's Days. It was Needy Homesteader, I think, that did some onion stock. She really liked it. And so I did a vegetable stock. I haven't opened a jar of that yet. I got to. But I love doing my own. I did roasted meat bones that I got down at the store down here. They sell actual meat bones. So I did that. And I did chicken stock, which I love. And I got those from Janie Pendleton's Our Little Homestead or something. She doesn't do too many YouTube videos now. She was a scientist, and she's a home builder, and her husband's a scientist. And so she knows all. She was one of the first channels I found for canning. And I forget what it's called, Our Little Homestead or something like that. But I really followed her for a while. She's bought a new home or a new homestead, and they're doing everything in it. They're putting everything, cabinet, flooring. I think they gutted it and just they're constantly, they're building it from the ground up. So she's back on Facebook showing her progress. And I mean, literally, she took a chandelier light and she put it glass piece by glass piece. It was just beautiful. It took her like 2 hours to do one section. I don't know what my vegetable oil says. Be charming. I haven't looked at it all. I go through a lot of vegetable oil between my baking and my cooking that I rotate through that very quickly. And my olive oil, I always get my olive oil in glass. I don't really like to get it in the plastic containers. And when I had a lot of Goya coupons, I bought the oil from Goya and used it that way. And yeah, pasta is low everywhere. I am very well stocked on pasta. I have number 10 cans from the LDS cannery for elbows and the pasta bites, the spaghetti bites. I got years worth of that. I also have tons of it. I vac sealed, and I still have more to go. But I don't think I'm going to put it in the jars because I think we don't have a massive rodent problem. So I don't have to worry about it like I thought I would. That's another thing I learned. We don't have that big of a problem with mice. Chris catches them as they come in. He has them all placed where they come in, and he catches them. And every night he goes down, and we haven't, every night he goes and checks. So we've only caught a few babies here and there. When they first come in, they're stepping on the trap. So pasta maker, yeah, that'd be cool. I don't have the patience to do it. I don't have the patience. Yeah, I have tons of flour that I vac sealed, and I have flour in the number 10 cans. I'm thinking more now that the number 10 cans are the way to go because people are already doing it for you. And when you have so much on your plate, hey, Lively Prepper, when you have so much on your plate and you have all these projects going, sometimes you have to just say, okay, you know what? That's why I did the LDS and I got a case of flour in the number 10 cans. And because I also vac sealed a crap ton, but I can use that stuff first before I get to the number 10 cans. So some things you got to weigh. Okay, is it more cost effective to do it yourself, or is it more cost effective to get it done based on the time you have available? And I figured, you know what? To run my vac seal 24/7 and waste my machine and just blow it out. I've already gone through 2. It was much better economically for me to get the number 10 cans with 4 pounds in them. I think it's 4 pounds of flour. I forget. And let them do it. Throw the oxygen absorber in there and seal it for me and put it on my shelf when it's only $5.38 a can. Compared to the wear and tear on my machine, I've already had to go through two machines. I'm on my 3rd one. The vac seal bags, the jars that don't always stay sealed and my lids pop. I'm figuring out what's best. Not Guildbrook Farms, no Catskill, but I did like them. I started watching her too. Let me see if I can find it. Janie Pendleton, her name is her name. Janie Pendleton. Let's see what her channel is called. Our Little Homestead. She is awesome. I'm going to put the link into her channel. She is where the very, very first video I ever watched of pressure canning. And it was dry canning, actually. She did her crackers and cookies. That's the very, very first video I ever watched. She is a scientist and a home builder, and she's got a Facebook channel, and her husband's a scientist. So she's very thorough, especially with her sterilization of everything. I started following her first. Before any other channel on YouTube, I found her. Then I found Our Half Acre Homestead. I found Needy Homesteader, Sutton's Days. A year ago was her last video when she was talking about how to find a perfect homestead property. She literally has a bunker downstairs, a small little bunker shelter. She does so much with canning and cooking and freezer meals and gardening and thrift store finds. So a year ago was her last video on YouTube, and it was how to find the perfect homestead property. So now she's on Facebook and she's doing that property. She must have found it and she is building it. Or, oh my God, it's awesome. Awesome. Let me see if I can find the Facebook one. I love it. Her Facebook one, freaking amazing. She did this chandelier. She did a chandelier, and she's a writer too. And she's a doctor, Dr. Janie Pendleton. I'll put her Facebook link there too. She's just fantastic. Yes, I've watched Red Rose too. But I follow her, and she just if you go to her Facebook and you check it out, she did this chandelier by hand and it's beautiful. It's beautiful for her front entry hall. She found expensive things from the thrift store that were expensive on the retail side, and she found them for pennies, and she's decorating her home. The pictures are beautiful. Beautiful. And she paid pennies for some of this stuff. I'm learning all the time, B. Mitch. I am learning all the time, and I'm learning what our family is doing that's a waste of time and a waste of money and a waste of just resources. I'm because I thought, oh, I got to do this and I got to do this and I got to do this and I got to get this and I got to do this and I got to do it, do it, do it. And I'm realizing we're not using half of this stuff up. We're not. Realistically, you have to go by what you guys eat in a year and stock that way. And I didn't do that. I didn't know enough to do that at the time. I just stock. I have Chips Ahoy cookies from 2020 still down there. They're still fresh when you open them, which is great, but I don't go through that many. So, yeah. So I know now to stock the flour from the LDS, and I was going to go Saturday, but Chris worked, and I'd rather have him working when I know I have like 10 cans of flour down there. I'm good for a while. And same with sugar. I got number 10 cans of sugar, but I also have some that I Mylard, and I'm still on the ones that I'm taking out of the jars from 2020. So I'm well stocked. I could go another year probably with what I have downstairs or more. And tomato products in cans, they start to get that tinny taste. So you can't store them for very much longer after. I mean, you can store them, but after they have the expiration date, you don't want to store them too long. Vegetables, it's different. But the spaghetti sauces and the diced tomatoes and things like that, once you get that to that expiration date, a couple year or two after, it starts to have that metal tinny taste. So you got to be careful. We've already been on here almost an hour. My gosh. So I have all my jars on my table with all pasta in the freezer downstairs, and I'm rethinking now, do I want to I might just bring the jars downstairs and do them in vac bags because I know those lids are not going to pop. And to be honest, I forget which ones are older, the ones in the bins and the ones in the jars. So I might just start fresh, doing it all one way for a little while and reorganize my shelves. Because now I have so much pasta and things on my shelves, I've had to put more pasta on another shelf, and then I'll forget, and the kids likes Todd. He went down and grabbed some chocolate chips, but I had some in the upstairs here, and he didn't know that. So he opened up a jar that was downstairs, and now I have a jar up here. So now I'm going to make a recipe called chocolate chip Congo bars that Apron Strings did. I have that. I've been wanting to do that one. Any newer feedback from the work muffins? Those muffins I made weeks ago, Chris brought to work. I'm just dropping the video now because I'm doing them in the order that I made the videos. So some of these videos are weeks and weeks old. It's from back in February, beginning of February. I'm getting to the middle to the end of February videos that I'm dropping now. It's easier for me to keep organized if I just drop the videos by the date that I put them and uploaded them. Some of them I uploaded 2 or 3 in one day, so I pick and choose, but I go by the date that I uploaded them. That's what's great about you, because you're honest about this whole thing as a learning process. It is. I've learned from all you guys and all these channels. My biggest problem and my biggest fault is I jumped right in without planning, but I didn't know to plan. And now that I'm watching videos, I watched another girl today. She's in her apron or something like that. And which, as anybody, I know Rob Rhodes said he was going to ask his wife about making me an apron, but I really, if you guys know of any apron places, let me know, because all my shirts are getting ruined. So I need to get aprons. I looked on Vistaprint and they wanted $26 for one apron, and I could have put my logo on it, but it was a white apron. The black apron won't work because my logo is mostly black, the house and my writing, so you can't see it. So I may not even, I just want aprons. I don't care if it has my logo on it or not. I want to get some aprons, and none of my thrift stores around here have aprons. So I don't know how to make one. I don't want to spend the time. So if you know of any good sites that have decent priced aprons, let me know. Email me at Lazarick Homestead. Give me the link to the site so I can look them in and order one. I'm not going to make one. I just I don't know how to sew. I don't want to mess with that. I have too much going on. Oh, yeah, cat skill. All my shirts have stains on them. This one I think has spaghetti sauce, because when I plopped it into my thing, I had it on my walls. I had to wash my walls. Yes, Shift Kicker, you did, and I got to check on that. I wasn't on YouTube or on the computer much yesterday because we went out, and then we had to come home and put everything away, and my legs had just had it. And Chris went outside to do a video because he had to do something for Backwoods and Prepping. Backwoods wanted him to do something, to be a part of something. So he had to shoot a small video of himself. I didn't even see it. I don't know. Give me 1 second. They're confirming my automotive appointment. So yeah, all my shirts are ruined, and I'm not putting any of my newer shirts on because when I go out, I need to wear those. So it doesn't have to be fancy. I know Apron Strings does aprons, but they're like $50, $45, $50, and I don't want to spend that on an apron. Thrive Life had aprons, but I don't know if you can buy those or you have to earn those. I'm not earning them. I haven't even been. I just order my stuff, and I haven't been pushing my business because I don't know. I could do better and rank up there better if I advertised it, but I'm just not, because I'm focusing on getting my stuff, and I've talked it to death. All of you are the same people that have been coming since the beginning, and I'm not going to keep talking it, you know, because y'all know about it. And if you wanted it, you can go right to one of my videos, and my site link is there. And if you haven't already, it's because you're not going to, because you've got your own ways of doing it, and I totally get it. So I'm not all about pushing and making millions of dollars in my business. I literally last month, I think I made $34. When I first started, I was making $900 a month, but most of that went to taxes. But last month's check was $34. So you don't really make a lot as you continue on with it. You're making more when you sign up a consultant, and when you know, and I'm not all about that. I realize what it's all about. And the money making part of it's not for me. The stocking my shelves part is for me. I'm glad to set up people. I mean, I'm still getting customers here and there, but they're skipping months because let's face it, this economy sucks butt and they can't afford it. And I'm totally okay with that because I can't afford the $700-800 orders. That month I made $900. I also spent $700 on it myself. So I really didn't make that. Um, but I just continue to stock up what we like and what we eat for later on down the road when I can't get it at the store. That's where my main focus is for the Thrive Life. It's not about making money because, like I said, last month's was $34 I made. I'm not going to get rich off of that. And I'm not looking to. I'm looking to stock my shelves. I've told everybody about it, and they have to stock in their own ways. They have to stock by their own households, and they have to, most prefer canned goods. You know, I have tons of canned goods. You see my shelves. Um, I keep it for long term mostly. I do cook with it a little bit now, but not all the time. Um, Yeah, B Mitch. I did Pampered Chef years and years in the 80s when it first came out. I did really well at Pampered Chef, but I was bringing bins and I had like 5 bins of product that I would go to people's house and cook meals with. And I still have all that. I love it. I use my meat pouncer meat thing where you put your ground beef in and you ground it up. I use that all the time. I still have my pizza stones. I love my pizza stones. Um, the Thrive Life, I stand by it 100%. I know it's expensive. That's why I've scaled down my orders to just about $100 a month. But I'm finding that I had stocked up so much in the beginning that I can now relax and just order what's on sale and not think about, oh, I need this and I need that, but it's not on sale. Nope. I've gotten so much now that I'm running out of space, honestly. And I can just order what's on sale because I know it'll come back around again. But I'm not going to push it. These people, you guys in here, you've all heard me talk about it. You can't afford it. You can't afford it. You don't want to bother with it. Susanna was one of my customers, but when that whole blowout came, she's no longer a customer. Alicia was one of my consultants, but she passed away. Lily was a consultant, but she no longer wants to do it. So, I've lost people along the way because they have their own lifestyles and their lifestyles changed and they've had to do things differently. And I get it. I get it. So now I just focus on doing it for me. But I still pay for the website every month so people can go. I put the link in my thing but I'm not pushing it. I'm not the greatest consultant. I'm going to tell you that because I don't push it. Yep. Firefly, how are you feeling? I don't have any small shops around here, bitch. B Mitch, bitch. I'm so sorry. I was looking at the B and the Mitch, and I'm so sorry. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. B Mitch. I don't have any of those. I'm so sorry. I don't have any of those small shops around here. I look at the thrift stores for them too. I'm going to check out the Shift Kicker. Now that I have some time today, I'm going to go on. And I was watching pinball. I had to stop that because I had to, and I have to get up every once in a while because my back hurts. I cannot believe I just said that name. I am so sorry, B Mitch. I would love aprons as gifts. Oh my God. I never thought I'd wear an apron in my life. But now that I have all my shirts have stains all over them. I don't know about this one. I got this grandma's stain remover from this country store that we had when I used to go to work out there. And it takes the stains out. But I've gone through it so much, I just stopped because I was wasting it on the shirts that I was restaining all the time with my cooking. So a lot of the videos, you're going to see little stains on my shirts, but my inner Chris came out. I didn't mean that. I'm so sorry. Oh, it's because my mouth is going. Oh, it is great to have Be Charming. I have a lot, but one of those muscle shelves that I have downstairs that Chris put together is full of All Thrive Life. I have no place else on that shelf to put it. I've stacked them on top of each other as high as I could, but I'm not going to stop. I've just slowed down on the amount sizes of my orders. Like this March one, I just got 2 sausage crumbles and an instant milk because I had strawberries, and my parents grow strawberries, and I'm going to have strawberries, and I keep the strawberries for long term because I don't cook a lot with strawberries. I Oh, Facebook. Let me go check it out. I don't know, did I accept it? Because if it's not a name I don't recognize. Hold on, let me go over here. I'm in the wrong. Oh, okay. I just accepted it. Angela just posted, "Hey everyone, I'm looking for aprons for when you're cooking. Anyone have any?" Is she listening? Is Angela in here? Let me see. Let me get back to StreamYard. She just posted on Facebook she's looking for aprons. Giggles. Are you in here? Is she in here? I got an ortho appointment Wednesday to see about returning to work. Oh my God, Giggles, you are something else. I love you, girl. I bet you my mom has patterns because she has like patterns from when I was a kid. She made us clothes. They weren't always the nicest clothes, but she made us clothes. My pictures of when I was a kid are so dorky. Oh God. I got it. I got it, B Mitch. I got it on Facebook. Giggles! Oh, I love you, Giggles. I love you all. You guys are so fun to be around. I'm just reading chat. Look on my friends list, B Mitch. If you go to my profile and you look at my friends, I bet you she's listed there. And so is Shift Kicker. Shift Kicker's awesome. Who else do I have on there? I have a lot of you guys on there. Oh, I have Mama Bear. I'm just starting to go back on Facebook more now. I used to be on it all the time before I found YouTube, and then I found YouTube and I stopped going. The reason I had Facebook was because their dad, the twins' dad, lived in North Carolina. So it was hard to send pictures on my phone to him because the files were too large. So I would just post pictures of the kids on there, and then he could go and click on them and save whatever pictures he wanted. So that's why I did Facebook in the very beginning, because we lived so far away. And when I moved to North Carolina, when I was married to him, it was easy that my family could see the kids too. And then when I moved back up here and I found YouTube, I just kind of dropped Facebook for a while. So I do find a lot of recipes and I save them on my Facebook, and that I do mostly recipes from there too. I just started to, but you know what? You know what I noticed? Nobody comments hardly on my Facebook posts about what's been going on. A year ago, before this guy was in office, and I was telling people, and I was getting people, no, no, no. And now no one comments on none of my stuff that I post about what's going on in the world. I literally posted about the gas yesterday, okay? And I said, it's why I prep because the gas prices. And so my friend who I went to school with, who's a smart girl, says, how do you prep gas? I have only done videos about it. I've only talked about it. And I explained to her about the stabilizer, and she says, well, I hope you put it outside. I said, I know what I'm doing. We have several places we store it. It's not all in one place. And I was like, and the same post she's putting on there on her own, she's going off here, she's going off there, she just went on a cruise, she just went to this one, she's every day is a new adventure with her people that she does respite, so she has 2 guys that live with her, so she has to do things with them. But in the beginning of this whole mess, I said, you need to stock up. She had plenty of money, she just didn't have food stocked, and months went into this whole thing, and she's like, I'm glad I did some stocking, but they don't really prepare. They don't. And now they're complaining about the price of gas when they're trying to go somewhere every day and go out every day. Every day. It's like you're going to be deciding whether you can leave your house or you can buy groceries for this big family you have pretty soon. I'm not stressing over the gas prices because we're using gas that we paid $1.69 for. We're rotating it. So we paid $1.69, if that, over the summer. That's what we put in our tanks the other day, and we went and refilled back up. But yeah, I'm not stressing over the gas prices and the oil prices because I've saved enough in my foods and everything else that we can afford to pay that little bit higher for oil or whatever when I need it. And you used to wear a house coat. Or smock. Smock, yes. Yes, I like the smocks too. I wish I had kept my smocks from my old jobs. Oh my God, I wish I had done that. Same with me, Catskill, but I don't care. I post some stuff waiting to be put in Facebook jail, but never have. Oh, yep, they are. I can't say she's a ding dong. I just think, we've all, because my head was in the sand for years up until this whole 2020. I never followed politics. I never followed nothing. I never knew anything. I focused on living my life every day and just getting by. It was up until I found all of you guys and I found the community that I learned, okay, I got to prepare for emergencies. So I can't call her a ding dong. It just hasn't sunk in yet for her. And someday it will, maybe not. But I like being stress free. I mean, I still stress about things like my car repairs, but I know because of all the other things we do around here, we can handle it financially. Yeah. And I never was in a position where I could save money because I was living paycheck to paycheck. And now doing what we've been doing has given us a little respite from all that. And I can breathe a little easier. And it just gets easier and easier, especially after I paid off the vehicles and I paid off my credit cards and got rid of those. And the student loans are now paid. So it took a long time, years and years and years, because I didn't follow what other people were doing. And I balked at it. And I'm like, no, I can never save and I can never do this. But I started to do it little by little. The one thing I wouldn't give up was my eating out once in a while. I mean, we were eating out a lot, but now I do it maybe on the weekends and maybe one day a week, depending on how I feel. If I'm really exhausted and I really just can't stand, I'll order something. But we don't do that like we were. Months ago, we were ordering a lot. Now we're not. I'm cooking 5 days a week, and maybe a Saturday or a Friday I'll order out. Um, but 300 to 400 a week on ordering out, that stopped. That stopped. But I had to be ready to do it, and I had to be at a point where I was ready to open my eyes and see what I was doing wrong. Paid off the car loans. That was $825 a month. I paid off the student loans. That was $200 a month. Credit cards are gone. Now it's just the house. And the kids' ortho. But now that I'm not putting that $200 towards the student loans, we're going to apply that $200 on top of what we were already paying to the braces and get those paid off. And then it will be just the house and our normal streaming services, which I've already lowered my Netflix. I was paying $17.99 for 4 screens. Now I lowered it to 2 screens and I pay $15.50. Hey, Care. Yeah, yes, Catskill. You are right. You are right. But everybody has to get to that place at their own pace. And it took me until now, these last 2 years, to learn things and be open to learning. But I also had the time because they laid me off and I was home all day. We couldn't go out because there was restrictions and things were shutted down. So I was here to sit at the desk and watch the YouTube videos and learn. So I had to realize y'all knew what you were talking about. Same here. I paid everything off just to have a storage and cell phone. Yeah. When did you switch to rolling cigarettes? We did that when me and Chris first got together. He was doing it with his mom when I met him, and for a long time I didn't. But a few years into it, we started rolling our own, and I don't cough as much. I'm not congested. It saves us a butt ton of money. Yeah, Catskill. I would go to work at a full-time job, get my twins up and ready to go, bring them to daycare, go to work, come home, get them from daycare, make dinner. And there was no time to sit and watch anything or learn anything. And I didn't pay attention to the news or. So this has been a blessing in some ways, this whole thing these last 2 years. We're doing better than we ever have financially. I'm not out at my job spending more money than what I was making because they'd send me to all these awesome places with my clients, like the Salvation Armies and the stores, thrift stores, because that's where these people worked. And I took them to work and I was spending my paychecks there. And then I'm going through drive-thrus to have lunch because I was working crazy hours where I didn't have a place to sit and eat. It was on the fly. So the wear and tear on my car, the miles I put on my car, the money I was paying to eat out, and then the money I was spending in these thrift stores and Salvation Armies when I took them to work, I was not making any money. Now I go weeks without leaving the house, weeks without spending any money. Cooking at home saved us a ton of money, but I needed to learn that on my own in my own time, you know. Hey, Sharon. Yeah, so let me go stir my sauce, guys. I'll be right back. I don't want to ruin it because when I pressure canned my first batch, I overcooked it before I did and I burnt it. So you could taste that burn and you could smell it. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, this is getting nice. I can't believe how nice this is coming out. It actually tastes good. Tastes good. The first sauce that I ever made was from Janie Pendleton recipe. And it was so time consuming. She added juices to it, and she added carrot slices, like shredded carrots to it. And I made it in my turkey roaster and let it sit in my turkey roaster, and the whole edge of the top of the turkey roaster, and I bought it strictly for that. And the whole edge at the top where the sauce sat, it just kind of burnt into it because I had it too high. I didn't know. And I didn't like the taste, and I kept messing with it and kept messing with it. I didn't like the taste. I'm very picky on my spaghetti sauce. This one, I just found a base recipe. It was for a single like dinner meal. It wasn't for like canning or anything, but it called for crushed tomatoes. Well, I didn't have crushed, so I used hold on, it's a telemarketer. I just used cans of diced tomatoes, cans of paste, cans of whole tomatoes that I used my emulsion blender. It's actually really good. And I threw some tomato soup in there. Campbell's tomato soup, and it mellows it out. And oh my God. So this is going to be dinner tonight. And then I'm going to have enough to put in freezer bags, lay flat, and throw in my freezer. And when I want a quick meal, I can just take it out. I'm not pressure canning it. It's not enough to pressure can. Feet healed tomorrow. Second eye cataract done. Be able to. Oh, wow, Care. You're going through some stuff, huh? Rose. Hi, Rose Young. Well, take it one step at a time, Care, and know that we're always here. You can always text us or email us. Well, I mean, email us or be on here when I'm here. Firefly, I love you too. I hope you come over this summer. If we do a lot of gardening, we're not going to be able to leave too much. I don't want to do a whole lot. I want to do just a couple things in the greenhouse and a couple things outside. I don't want to do like I did the last time. I don't want to. I don't want to. I want to enjoy myself and do different kind of videos, and I'd like to start walking. I want to start walking up and down the street this summer. When it gets nicer out. I might join the older ladies. There's two older ladies that live near me and they walk. I might join them because I love those ladies. But I put on some weight over this. You know why? Because I stopped eating my Thrive Life trail mixes. I didn't want to open any new cans after all the ones that I had open were gone. And I didn't want to open any. So I haven't been doing that. And then I cut up celery sticks, but then my son eats them all. And then I forget they're in there. And how are you doing, Rose? Getting ready to go to cardiologist. Thought I would say, oh, well, good luck there. Good luck there. Yeah, walking and stretching. I know my doctor told me that I needed to do like yoga stretches and stuff, but getting down is easier than getting back up. Yeah, I got to do it more when it gets nicer out. It's been such wonky weather here. Oh my God. Like the snow is melted away. We have few spots of snow left, but I put on my boots yesterday and I went out to the back with Chris. We checked the blueberry plants, the blueberry trees. I was looking in the shed because I didn't realize I forgot we had bought a crap ton of soil. So I had we got to go get fertilizer and potting soil. But no, I forgot I stocked the shed. I totally forgot last summer we stocked the shed. So we have tons of it in there. But all the planter bags and stuff that we had stuff in, we're going to rotate that in and put it all in one raised bed when he builds it, and freshen up the soil and use that up. And Yeah. I hope it's what, 49 right now, and it was 50 something yesterday, and I'm hoping the good weather's coming and staying so we can get outside more. Chris wants to build a hatchet throwing section, so he can practice his hatchet throwing. Oh, Rose, you've been going through it, huh? Yes, come up and walk with me. I have to. I have to get back into shape. This winter really, I went through some things that just put me out, just put me down and out, and I just got out of shape. So this summer I'm gonna, when the weather starts getting better, I'm gonna get myself back up and do it. And all the cooking, that's the drawback. You got to make healthier meals. And I was trying all these new things that were fatty and creamy, and I found this recipe. I want to make the Mongolian beef. I got a box of linguine I found, so I'm gonna try that. See, it's the weather's just been crazy. But once we get outside and I start lifting things and moving things around and things like that. What supplies, Han Solo? If I wanted to do it, you could make money on those supplies because of the price increases. I can't do the treadmill because of my ankles, but because the doctor literally told me, "Don't do a treadmill, do an elliptical machine." And I bought an elliptical machine. My son has it now because when I bought it, I didn't know I had diabetes, and I thought I almost had a heart attack on the machine. Um, so I let him have it, and because he wanted one, so I'm like, "Here, we're not using it anymore." And that's how I lost all my weight before when I was in North Carolina, was on the elliptical. Because there was no pressure and bouncing on your ankles with the elliptical. And I'd like to get another one right here, or get my son to give it back to me because I don't think he's using it. Um, but it's heavy. I'm gonna have to talk to him about that. This Mongolian beef recipe, it doesn't have any spices in it. Where is it? This is ground beef Mongolian noodles, and it has ground beef, ginger, garlic, brown sugar, beef broth, soy sauce, hoisin sauce, a little bit of ground black pepper. You can put red pepper flakes, but it's optional, so I wouldn't put those. And then that's it. The noodles, cornstarch with water slurry. And it was from Mandy in the making, and it looked so good. So I'm gonna try it. Oh, the garden supply. Oh no, I'm not getting rid of my garden supplies. I don't have anything worth selling. It's maybe my fabric pots and stuff like that, but I'm keeping them because you never know if my son's wife later on down the road when the baby is a little older and because she came to me and asked me for tomato plants this past summer. I don't think she did anything with them. They were extras that I had that I weren't planning because I had so many going. I gave her some and she grew a plant. She made a planter box but she got pregnant and, you know, so but she may get into it at another point in time. So I have plenty of planter bags that are brand new still. And um, how are your help with that? Your diabetes? What care? My diabetes is good. I got it controlled, but it's been years and years now. I had to get it controlled. But when I was trying to use the elliptical machine, I didn't know I was diabetic. So it was just starting, and my heart rate and my face was swollen, and everything was going wrong because I was becoming diabetic and it was affecting me. And then here I am trying to work out at the same time, and my heart was working overtime, and I almost had a heart attack on the machine because I didn't know I was diabetic. I went to my doctor and I got on metformin, and my numbers have been great ever since. But I had to change my eating. No more eating ice cream every night, and no more McDonald's every night, and Burger King every night. And I had to stop. I gave up the ice cream. I've been having a little here and there, um, but I have these little cups of ice cream, not a half gallon like I was. And that was every night. So I had to really change my eating habits. Giggles. God, I'm at an hour and a half, but that's okay. Yeah, I joined some Facebook groups when I first became diabetic, and they had food lists on what was good, and my nutritionist helped me a lot. Yep, exercise does help. But then I had torn my cuff, and I had frozen shoulder, and so I had to go to physical therapy for that, and uh, I just can't do the treadmill because I fell when I had the twins. They were first born. I fell on black ice and tore all the ligaments and tendons in my right ankle. And so it's healed, but not fully. So sometimes I'll step down on it and I'll damage it all over again. I had a boot for like 6 months, over 6 months. I had a boot I had to wear, and it's been 14 years. And sometimes if I still step the wrong way, it all shoots up my back of my leg and it'll never heal. The doctor said now arthritis is in it. It's some degree of arthritis. So um I don't know if I had a bone density test. I had a really good elliptical. Oh my God, I got it at Sears. It was a Pro Form or something. It had a built-in fan and it had um electronic thing on it so that you could it was awesome. My son has it now, and you have a good day, Rose. Good luck with everything, honey. But my hips are shot now too. I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna have to have my hips looked at. Um, I did a lot of figure skating when I was younger, but I also have discs that are degenerated in my hips. I found that out in my 20s, and so there's not a lot I can do. My mom had knee surgery, so I have a feeling that I'm going to be going down that road with my legs. So I have to be careful what I do. By nighttime, just the Walmart yesterday, walking around Walmart, I was in so much pain after. So I have to be careful. Shrinking. I think I'm shrinking too. I was 5'7" for a long time. I bet you I'm a little smaller now. Yeah, Moonlight, that's what my doctor told me. She's like, "Don't get the treadmill. It's too much pressure on your ankles. An elliptical is better because it's just this motion and you're not getting all that heavy pressure on your ankles." That's what I had to do. And I lost a lot of weight. Oh boy, Firefly. You just have not had a good time of it, girl. You have every time you get up there, you're working and this and that, something happens. It's like, oh my God, you should try to maybe think about disability. So you get a steady income coming in because it seems like every time you go to work, something happens. I would think about that. How are you going to make it if you're constantly getting hurt? Yeah. I can't believe that spaghetti sauce is coming out. And I just threw a bunch of crap in there. There was no major recipe. I just took a few items from that recipe, like the onions I cleaned out my freezer with my peppers and an onion that I needed to use up, and different cans of stuff. And wow, I can't believe it came out tasting so good so far. Oh my God. That's going to be awesome. I'm not pressure canning it though. There you go. I find that I'm limiting what I'm pressure canning because I'm not using a lot of it. I'm glad I know how, though. That was what I wanted to learn. My parents have pressure canned. I never paid attention, didn't want to learn. So now I know how to do it. And I've got my books and I know how that if there was a major catastrophe that I could grow stuff or go to the farmer's market, pick it all up and pressure can it. If it was to life or death and I needed to. Right now it's not. I have so much down on my shelves that I have to go through, but the knowledge is there now. The knowledge. I even water bathed, so now I know how to water bath. I did try the apples to make an apple pie filling, and those didn't go well. It all seeped out of my jars. Then my jars were floating, but I didn't realize you put the water in after you put your jars in. I put my jars in after I had filled up my water. They were floating. I couldn't get them, and I never did it again. I took all the apple pie filling out, and I put it in freezer vac seal bags, and I vac sealed it, and I put it in my freezer. So I got to use those up. But now I know how to pressure can and I have all the jars and all the lids and I have everything I need so that I am set. I am set. I was thinking of doing the ghee, Sharon. I was thinking of doing the ghee because I never tasted ghee. And I have a whole freezer door full of butter downstairs. That will be my next project when I pressure can because I just did French fries with the pickle crisp. And I'm going to open a jar of the russet and the red potatoes that I did a mixture of. But I want to let them sit in the jars a little longer. It's only been a week or so. So I want to let them sit in the jars for maybe a month, take them out because I did some French fries and I opened them after a week and they were fabulous. Fabulous. But I want to do a little bit longer, let them sit in the jar and try them at a month and then let them 6 months and then a year and see what they taste like. So I know how long to let them sit before we use them up. But ghee I want to try. Yes. Mitch, I would because I'll tell you, I did Lisa Sutton's meatballs and I did a crap ton. And then when I opened a jar, I just didn't like them. I just didn't like the texture because you can't put a filler in your meat when you're pressure canning. So there was no filler and I just didn't like it. I didn't like the texture of it and I didn't like the taste. I don't like a lot of pressure canned meat. I just don't. I don't care for it. Chicken, not so much. I don't mind that because you can mix that in a lot of things. I still have a lot of chicken. I had a jar of pork tenderloin. I haven't even opened it to try it yet. I had brought it upstairs to try it to do something with it, and I haven't yet. But I'm finding there's a lot of things that I didn't like. I dumped all my potatoes. They were just so nasty. So nasty. I just couldn't do anything with it. The smell and the taste was so awful. It's not something that I want to do. Hey, Steel and Tree. Everybody's taste buds are different though. They really are because the French fries I did with the pickle crisp, it made them more firmer. And it was good. The kids loved the French fries I pressure canned more than the fresh ones I cut up and fried. So ghee is something I'm going to be doing, and I'm going to follow Rose Red, I think. I watched her do it, and I liked that video. How you doing, Eric? Yeah, see? The meat comes out so different when you pressure can it. We have I did some jars of beef brisket. Haven't opened it yet. I did some pork butt, I think. I'm not sure if I did. But what else did I have? Beef stew. That was really good because all the veggies sit in there with the meat, and that was really good. The chicken soup was really good. That was good. So I'm learning, but I'm not doing any more. I did caramelized onions. I followed Whippoorwill Holler and I pressure canned some onions and did not like them. It was a mushy mess. and I dumped all those. The celery that I pressure canned, I won't use celery. I won't do that anymore either because it's only good for soups now. And it was so soft. So now I won't do any more. I did applesauce. We haven't opened any. I'm going to open a jar and see how it tastes after it's pressure canned. I did a bunch of applesauce. Was nice to have you here, Catskill. Use it in spaghetti, chop it up, make meat sauce. Yep. Yep. I don't like pot roast beef, so that's another reason why the pressure can beef I'm not a fan of because I don't like roast. I don't like roasts. I don't like that taste and I don't like that texture. Have a great day, Catskill. The roast that I did in the beef stew was really good, but we didn't eat a lot of it. I didn't go down and take a lot of it off the shelf, so I got to start doing that. My thing is I bought a lot of stuff, vac sealed it in the freezer. Then I did a lot of jars on the shelf. So now I have so much that has to be used up before it gets freezer burned because I have stuff in there from 2020, So I got to use that. So it's like, okay, do I use my freezer stuff or do I use my stuff on my shelf? So I did so much in such short a time that and then I'm still looking at recipes all the time and I'm making new stuff and yeah. Like I have some stew beef downstairs in the freezer. I'm going to take that out because I have a instant pot beef tips one I'm going to do from Mandy in the making. So I did find some, but I have so many recipes that I printed out I haven't even got to yet. I don't like pot roast. I'm not a pot roast person. I like my pork, my ribs, my country style ribs. I'm not a roast person. Sauerbraten. I never heard of sauerbraten. All right, I'm going to drop the stream in a few minutes. Let me go stir I think I hear I got to pay attention to that. I did turn my heat down in this house. No more having it at like 72, 70. Turned it down. Yeah, what is that, Firefly? Sauerbraten. Giggles. Yeah, be charming, me too. But I also jumped in head first with the canning and I canned anything and everything to try it. And then I never opened it to try it. And then now I got to start doing that. And because that stuff sitting on the shelf, if we don't like it and we're not going to eat it, it's a waste of my space. And I could put stuff we actually will use. Please do, Giggles. Find me some aprons. Nothing expensive. I don't want, I could order them from Apron Strings. She makes beautiful aprons on her channel, but they're $40, $50 an apron. And I don't want that. I might just put a hole in a sheet and throw it over me. Cut out the arms and I don't know. So I think I'm going to drop the stream now because I have things to do. I got to call the auto shop and confirm my thing. It's not runny right now, Han Solo. It's on low. I am going to go and check out that one Shift Kicker sent me right now, actually, now that I'm on the computer, once I get off here. And I checked the oil prices last night, and it was still 4.59. But we've only used a quarter of a tank. Oh, they're bringing the guy across. He goes through a lot of oil, that guy. But he's elderly, so he just had them come the other day. My gosh. And I had talked about getting a second oil tank down there. I had told Chris we should get a second oil tank set up so we'd have two set up and we could fill it when the oil was really cheap. And they all talked me out of it. They all said, no, no, no. Even the oil company said, no, it wasn't a good idea. I forget why now. But now I'm thinking we should have. Because if we could have had two big oil tanks down there and they were set up to run, I'd have a reserve oil tank and we could have filled it when it was $1.69 a gallon and we would have been set. It's something I may check into because when the oil prices go back down, now that we got the new boiler, I could fit another small, because these are tall oil tanks. These aren't the long ones like they used to have. These are tall ones. I'm thinking. Yeah, please do. But I'm going to let you guys go. I'm going to go and focus on my sauce. And oh, you like my hair? It's called Wake Up and Throw It in a hair tie. And one of these clips. See these clips right here? I threw it up in a hair tie. There's my clip. And then I threw the little bit I had left in the ponytail with one of these clips. And then I throw some of those barrettes on to hold all my strays. Straight after waking up, this is what I look like. Oh, watch my garden show video. I will. Everybody talked me out of that second oil tank. I should have done it. They're like $3,000 all set up. When we got the estimate on this one, when we had done over the summer, it was 2,800, I think. And then the boiler was like 50 something hundred. But I'm thinking we should have. But I let everybody talk me out of it. You never know. In 4 years, we could be going through this again with the whole new president. So, something to think about. All right. I'm going to get off of here, guys. It was so nice chatting with all of you. I really like the way I'm doing it now. I do, once in a while, we'll have people come up, but I like to focus on you guys. And I know me and my brain, when I have too many people up on panel, it's not that I don't love having them. It's that I forget to focus on you guys in chat. And you guys are why I do it. So I hope this new way of doing it is not making anybody upset. Because I feel like, you know what, when Giggles does a live stream or Crazy Irish, I can go up on panel if they'll let me and talk to everybody too. But for my channel, I want to focus on everybody. I want to interact with you all. And I noticed for me, my mind goes squirrel, squirrel, squirrel. And I'm focusing just on who I'm looking at. And I'm not focusing on chat. And I found that to be, and I just didn't like it. I didn't like myself. I was like, I'm forgetting about the chat. And I don't want to do that because you guys are just awesome. There was no nuggets, Han Solo. When we went to Walmart yesterday, I went over to the cooler section because Chris went over there and took some pictures. You'll see it in the video when it finally does drop sometime. There was no nuggets. There was nothing in there. They had some hams. They had no chicken, no nothing. I couldn't believe it. Thank God for my chicken nugget stash. I go through a craze every once in a while. I want some, and then I don't eat them. I don't know what crazy is today. We don't text as much as we used to. Um, I'm bad at that, guys. I don't reach out as much as I do. I should. I don't like to bother people. I feel like I'm bothering. And I know you all have said, oh, you're not bothering. I just feel like, you know what? I don't like to bother people. Um, but I just want to say, I appreciate all of you for coming. I love spending time with you. Um, and I'll come up again soon. Like I said, sometimes I'll open up the piano. It just gets a little crazy. So I appreciate you guys. So I'm going to let you go so I can go work on my stuff, and I will talk to you guys soon. Got to remember to hit the end broadcast button. I love you guys too.